Okay, Mr. Michael Morgan, thank you very much for being a guest today on the Fluent English Pro podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, David.
We are super happy to have you because what you teach is essential for a person's professional growth, which is connecting with people and influencing people. Sometimes we think degrees matter, and of course they do, but they are just a part of it. But actually, being able to interact, to connect, to build that network is essential for you to be able to grow. So, Michael, tell us a little bit about your professional journey and how you came across teaching professionals how to network and how to influence in their industry.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I've had a pretty interesting career journey. I'm originally from New York. I went to Penn State University as an undergrad. After graduating from Penn State, I moved to Delaware. I worked for JP Morgan Chase, and I worked in a corporate development program. So I had the opportunity to work in investment banking, private banking, and corporate technology and risk. I ended up leaving JP Morgan and going back to school to get my MBA. I went to Carnegie Mellon University, focusing on operations, strategy, and organizational behavior. After obtaining my MBA, I moved to Houston, Texas. I worked for Chevron for a few years in a multitude of procurement and supply chain roles. Eventually left Chevron and moved to Seattle, Washington. I worked for Amazon in both vendor management and program management roles for Amazon Web Services for the retail side, as well as Amazon Business. And then I transitioned from Amazon to Walmart. So I moved from Seattle to the Bay Area of California. I worked in program management on their e-commerce space. And as of today, I currently live in Austin, Texas. I work for a startup in cybersecurity called Netscope. I'm still in a role along the lines of program management and strategy, but my role is fully remote, so I can live anywhere. And in addition to working at Netscope, I just published my first book last year called The Power of Networking, which is available on all platforms. And I started my journey as a motivational speaker. So I speak at universities, conferences, companies, organizations. I would say what prompted me to begin my journey as a motivational speaker, as well as an author, throughout my career, I've had so many people reach out to me over the last 15 plus years asking for tips, advice. How was I able to get a job at JP Morgan? How was I able to get a job at Chevron? How was I able to excel in my role? How was I able to get promoted? How did I transition from an individual contributor to a people manager? How did I transition industries? How did I go from financial services to oil and gas to tech? So many people have reached out to me, either people directly within my network or people within my network connecting me to people on their networks, or sometimes random individuals have looked me up online on LinkedIn. They were impressed with my background and just reached out, asked me questions. At a certain point in time, I felt as though I have a wealth of knowledge that people are looking for. So I decided to put pen to paper and write my book and then begin my journey speaking to individuals and providing them with guidance, providing with the training. I enjoy helping people, and I know I wouldn't be where I am today in my career if others didn't assist me. So it's my way of paying it forward by publishing the book and doing all these speaking engagements.
Great. Yeah, it's great to hear that you have uh, like a very strong background to support the type of information you're sharing now, because like way before you talked about your book, I was listening to all these like big name companies. You worked for Amazon, for Walmart, and for other companies. Like going to this is not that easy. Yes, like they have very strict filters and you have to really work your way through those positions, and being able to work at multiple of these companies really says a lot of positive things about you. All right, Mister. So, if you have been through all these amazing processes, it means you know how to connect with people, how to access those spaces, how to get your foot in the door. Yeah, and I think the first thing to take into account here is that these are skills that do not occur or emerge overnight. It's something that you have to develop through time. It's not like magic. What would you say, Michael, are the core or the foundational skills, maybe just two or three, that a professional will need to be able to network and to influence people effectively?
Yeah, I would say so. There's a few different pieces. So one, as far as being able to network, you have to put yourself out there, and that's a pitfall I see happen in a lot of people's careers, where they have a mindset where as long as I do my job and I do it well, I will naturally get promoted. I'll naturally get to that next level. I don't have to build a network. I don't have to do that. In my opinion, you have to treat networking as part of your job, both inside your company and outside your company. So internally at your job, if you don't effectively network, one, it'll be hard for you to get your job done. And this has happened to me in my career. This happened to other people I've spoken to. A lot of the times, you'll get assigned work that you don't know how to do, and you have to figure it out. And either I can try to figure it out on my own, but if I have a robust network that I can lean on, who can point me in the right direction or potentially train me, it will make my job that much easier. So if you're able to effectively network internally within the company, it will help you do your job. If you network within the company to senior leadership, it will help you get promoted. A lot of times, there may be a room of 10 senior leaders that are making decisions on where we're ranking employees in the entire organization or who's getting promoted, who's not getting promoted. And if those key players in the room don't know who you are, it doesn't matter how good of an employee you are. So you need to make sure that you're networking. And that's why I said you have to put yourself out there. You have to build relationships both horizontally and vertically within your company so that you can make sure that you're doing your job effectively. So you can make sure that the right individuals who are the key players that make decisions on who's getting promoted and who's getting the top rankings know who you are, know the value that you're bringing to the table. Even outside your company, I'm constantly joining different organizations that are relevant for my industry, for my function. So, as an example, I work in cybersecurity. I joined an organization called Diversity, which tries to get more diversity in the cybersecurity industry. I have my MBA degree. I joined an organization called National Black MBA Association. So I can network with other like-minded individuals that also have their MBA degrees. I've worked in supply chain. I joined the Institute of Supply Chain Management as a way to meet other individuals that are also in supply chain. I do program management. I joined the Project Management Institute to meet other individuals that are also doing project management, program management, product management. And you never know what doors may open when you make new connections. So don't just focus on networking within your company, focus on networking externally as well. But the first step, you have to put yourself out there and put yourself in situations where you can build relationships with new individuals, both inside your company and outside your company. So I'd say that's step number one. Step number two, I've always been told it's very easy to make a new connection. It's difficult to maintain that connection. So you have to take it upon yourself to make sure you're reaching out to people within your network on a regular cadence. And everyone will be a little bit different. Some people in my network I reach out to weekly, some monthly, some quarterly, but I'm making sure that I'm regularly touching base with them and I'm first in mind when different opportunities may arise. And this has been very fruitful for me in my career. What I've seen is that like people will join an organization, people will attend a conference, they'll make a new connection, they'll add them on LinkedIn, won't talk to them for 5, 10 years. And all of a sudden, 10 years down the road, like, oh, they work for this company. Oh, I want to work there. And then they reach out when they need something. That's not good networking. You you're only reaching out when you want something, when you need something, and you haven't regularly kept in touch with that person over the years. You're only reaching out once you want something. So I'd say step two, make sure that you're reaching out on a regular cadence. So you're building that relationship. And then step three, I got into this a little bit in my last response. Networking is a two-way street. Make sure that you're giving to get. And I always emphasize the give. So I don't go into situations where I'm just asking for things. Hey, can you help me get a job? Hey, can you review my resume? Can you do this for me? I'm trying to understand the other person's needs. What do they want? What do they need? How can I help them? Maybe I'm giving them a referral for a job. Maybe I'm helping them with their resume review. Maybe I'm helping them with interview preparation. Maybe I'm recommending a book or sending them articles that might be valuable to them. But I'm trying to find ways where I'm adding value to them. There's some people in my network I've never asked anything of. But in the event that I may need something, it's the process of reciprocity where people know I've gone out of my way to help them. And that makes them want to help me in any way that they can as well. So I'd say make sure that you have that mindset that networking is a two-way street. As far as influencing, I would say a few things. Number one, I'm a very analytical person. I think data is critical. So if I'm going to influence individuals, teams, organizations, that there's a certain path forward that we should take, I have the data to support it. So one of the things I learned at Amazon, Amazon hates weasel words. So weasel words are usually most. So if I go into a meeting and I say, most of our customers want this, usually our customers say that. They're going to call me out in the meeting and say, if you don't have the data to support it, then get out of the room. If I go into a meeting at Amazon, I have to say specifically 87% of our customers have said that if they don't receive packages within 1 to 2 days, they will buy products from another platform. And that data is supported by X, Y, and Z. So I have the very specific numbers. So if you want to influence individuals, don't assume, make sure you have the data to support what you're saying. So key step, data is important. I would say a second piece when it comes to influencing, I'm very big on diversity of thought. So if I go into a room or I'm working on a project, a lot of the initiatives I'm working on across multiple teams. So I'm working in program management, but I'm working with product management. I'm working with engineering. I'm working with HR. I'm working
Mhm.
with legal. I'm working with finance. And if I just go into a room in a meeting and tell them this is what we're doing, it's going to rub people the wrong way. Whereas if I reach out to every individual from all the different teams, get all of their thoughts, get everyone's feedback, concerns, and recommendations for the best path forward, and we collectively as a team determine the best path forward, now they're more willing to accept the change because they were a part of the decision making. They were heard as opposed to me just telling people what to do. So if you want to influence people, make sure that you're listening to them as well. Don't just go in there and assume you know everything and tell people how things should be done. Take their opinions, take their thoughts, and that will help you reach the best ultimate decision. And then I would say the third piece when it comes to influencing, this changes depending on your company, but you need to have good skills when it comes to either writing or presentation skills. Like I said, every company is a little bit different. So, companies like Chevron, Walmart, those are companies that are big on PowerPoint presentations. So, if I have an idea and I want to influence other individuals, I have to create a PowerPoint deck and I have to have great communication skills to go in front of an audience of senior leaders and present a problem, present a solution, present a plan of action, and get their buy-in and sign off on a go no go decision. At Amazon specifically, Amazon doesn't do PowerPoints at all. Amazon's a paper writing company, and you have to write a paper. It's either a one-page paper or a six-page paper, and then you have to add appendices that show the data. So you have to be good at writing papers in order to influence other individuals. So whether it's writing skills for writing papers or it's presentation skills for PowerPoint decks. Like I said, every company is a little bit different, but generally, I'm not just going into a meeting and saying, hey, I have this idea and I want to influence teams to do X, Y, and Z. I'm creating a PowerPoint deck or I'm writing a paper to show the idea, to show what the problem is, to provide potential solutions. I always provide multiple options for solutions. Out of my multiple options, I pick one solution that I think is the best path forward. I explain why it's the best path forward, and then I provide a plan of action. But it's essential to have those communication skills and being able to present it effectively in order to influence other individuals.
Hey there, if you're enjoying the podcast, imagine how much more progress you could make with consistent, specialized support every week. Introducing the Fluent English Pro membership. designed specifically for busy professionals like you who want to keep improving their English even on a busy schedule. You'll find fluency activities, tutorials, mini courses, vocabulary builders, and live events, all focused on work and business English. Whether it's mastering international meetings, doing presentations, or answering tricky emails, this space is built to help you grow. If you're serious about your communication skills, visit fluentenglishpro.com/members and subscribe today. That is fluentenglishpro.com/members. Let's turn your English into your biggest professional asset.
Amazing. Yeah, that what you say makes me think, for example, that it is common that we keep ourselves inside of bubbles within our companies and we don't get to interact with people from other departments, from other areas, even from similar companies. And this is something everybody should do. And also the idea of joining organizations or associations related to your industry, I think it's key in order for you to open other doors way beyond just what you can or cannot do inside your own company. So that's great. And now that you bring up communication, and for example, say that some companies use PowerPoint, some others use paper, makes me think that there is not a core skill. I think you need to adapt to how the company prefers communication. Yeah, you need to operate the way the company communicates best. But there is also an aspect to that which is personal, Michael, and I would like to ask you, like personal communication styles. Some people are more outgoing, some people are more reserved. You have like the shy kind of people. So for some of us, and I'm saying this as a shy person, uh for some of us it might not be as easy to go and reach out to the CEO or to the director and like maybe share a proposal with them or have a smoke talk with them. How can like different communication styles play a role in influencing or networking?
Yeah, absolutely. And I get it. I know some people are more extrinsic, some people are more intrinsic. Even for those individuals that are intrinsic, I would challenge them to speak up more. There's a reason that you were hired. There's a reason that you're on the team. There's a reason that you're in your specific role. So, as an example, in meetings, and like I said, I've worked for a lot of different companies, and I've seen this where if you get invited to a meeting and you're just sitting in the meeting and you're a fly on the wall and you don't say anything in any meeting, at a certain point in time, you're going to stop getting invited to the meetings. You're not adding any value. And I'm not saying that you need to dominate a meeting. If there's a 30-minute meeting, you don't need to talk for all 30 minutes. But you clearly have an opinion, you clearly have thoughts. Voice your opinion. If you're just sitting in a meeting and you're going to say, "Hey, I'm shy and I'm not going to speak up," and everyone else is going to talk on my behalf, at a certain point in time, why are they going to keep inviting you to meetings? You're not adding any value by just sitting there and being quiet. So, like I said, you don't have to dominate a meeting, but make sure if you have certain thoughts, ideas, make sure you voice them. One of the things that I try to do, I'm a people manager, and I understand that some more people are more quiet, more shy. So I'll try to do certain activities to make sure everyone's voice is heard. So as an example, I'm like, if we're meeting in a room, I'll pull up a whiteboard and I'll challenge everyone to write down 2 or 3 ideas on the whiteboard. So now even the people that may be more shy or timid, they're still voicing their opinions. Or I may pull out the sticky tabs and have everyone write down 1 or 2 ideas on a sticky tab, and we put it on a board and we start grouping ideas together. And that way I'm forcing everybody to have their voice included. Every manager is not like me. So there will be situations where you will be in a meeting and everyone's not writing on a whiteboard, everyone's not writing on a sticky paper. And if you don't speak, your voice is not heard. So even if you are on more the shy, timid side, I strongly recommend that you try to voice your opinion when you can. Like I said, you don't have to dominate the meeting, but at least share your thoughts, your ideas. So I would say that as one. Secondly, I know it may be uncomfortable to reach out to certain leaders within the company. If you don't feel comfortable reaching out to someone directly yourself, ask other individuals. Try to leverage your manager, try to leverage your mentor if you have a mentor, and maybe someone can bridge the gap for you and make that introduction so that you can speak with that leader so it doesn't feel as awkward where you're not reaching out to them directly. You have someone that's bridging the gap and making the introduction for you. But at the end of the day, for you to just say, I'm not going to set up time and meet with this person because I'm too shy, they're too senior, I don't feel comfortable, that's going to be detrimental to you. So if you don't feel comfortable reaching out to them directly, try to find 6 degrees of separation where someone within your network who has a better relationship with that person may feel comfortable providing that introduction for you.
Hmm. Okay, that sounds great. That sounds great. I'm thinking, for example, and maybe I think maybe you do it as well. Something we do on LinkedIn quite often. It is easy to reach out to people through a mutual contact, so it facilitates the process a lot. Um, I'm thinking now because you mentioned you are working remote, and a lot of listeners are remote workers, and I think that's where most companies are heading now. I think it's very easy when you work on site to have interactions with people, to have a meeting, like a casual conversation with a person, and start building a network, a connection, or start influencing there. But sometimes when you work remote, you only have like Slack or like whatever chat platform you're using, and you don't get to really interact much with other team members because you only reach out to them when you need them, and it's like very impersonal sometimes. How can you transfer this relationship building onto hybrid or remote spaces?
Yes. So I would say a few things. One, definitely leverage technology. So yes, there's Slack, there's Zoom, there's Google Meets, there's different things that you can leverage. When I reach out to people on my team, a part of my organization, I don't just reach out to them when I need something. It's okay to reach out to people just to build relationships. So there are times I've surprised people where I'll reach out on Slack and ask them, "Hey, how's your day going? How was your weekend?" And they'll respond and they'll say, "Oh, yeah, I did. I went to the store. I went to this concert. I had a great weekend. How about you?" And then after some banter, they'll reach out and say, "Okay, do you need anything?" It's like, "No, I just wanted to check up on you. I just wanted to see how you were doing." I think for some reason, when people work remotely, they assume that anytime someone reaches out, they want something, and we've lost that personal touch. Like you said, when you're in the office, you can just have a conversation with somebody in the cafeteria area by the coffee machine, like that's very easy. And now when we work from home, it's like don't reach out to anybody unless you want something. Like no, I can just reach out to somebody and just check on them and see how they're doing. So don't be afraid to just use Slack just to check on people, see how they're doing. Same thing with Zoom. I have recurring meetings with some leaders in my company, and some of these meetings, yes, I'm going through work deliverables and I'm discussing different projects, tasks I'm working on. I'm asking for tips, asking for advice. But yeah, there's also a personal component where I'm asking them how they're doing and how's life outside of work. How is your partner? Did you travel anytime recently? Have you taken vacation? What are you doing outside of work? I'm getting to know them as individuals. So when I am using Slack and I am using Zoom, yes, there's a professional aspect where we have to get our jobs done, but I'm also building relationships and getting to know them as individuals outside of work. So I think that's a big component. The second piece, I get it. A lot of people are working fully remote, people working hybrid. To me, nothing replaces that face to face interaction. So I live in Austin, Texas. My company is based in Santa Clara, California. I fly out to Santa Clara once a quarter. I'm actually heading there next week. I don't have to go to headquarters, but it's a way for me to build relationships with other individuals. And when I am traveling to headquarters, I'm letting as many of my stakeholders and team members know I'm going to headquarters for these dates. If you're available, I'd love for you to come out and join me. And when I'm at headquarters, I have meetings. I have breakfast meetings. I have coffee chats. I have lunch meetings. I have happy hours. I have dinner meetings. And I have work meetings throughout the day. I'm on from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day that I'm out at headquarters. So I'm maximizing my time and building as many relationships as I can and having these face-to-face interactions. Even with me being in Austin, I identified a bunch of my coworkers that live in Austin, and I've worked to set up volunteering activities. I've worked to set up happy hours. I've worked to set up dinners. These aren't even people within my team, within my organization. I don't have to do that, but it's a way for me to build relationships with other individuals at my company who are also based in the same city as me. So, yes, on one component, leverage technology as much as possible, leverage Slack, leverage Zoom, leverage Google Meets, but nothing replaces that face to face interaction. Still take the onus and the responsibility to try to set up those face to face meetings whenever possible.
Mhm. That's great. That's great. Yeah, because like replacing human interaction, face to face interaction, is not happening, or at least not happening anytime soon. And you also covered my next question. I think you already answered it, which was like, how do I connect with people without seeming like salesy or pushy? But it's actually because you're not reaching out to them, asking them for something. You're building a relationship. So it's like it's not in the first interaction that you are maybe offering or requesting something. It's through the whole relationship you have been building through time that you have that exchange of value. So that's how you do not get labeled as salesy or pushy whenever you're reaching out to something. Even though like at the beginning, people are gonna be like, "Hey, what do you want from me?" But eventually they'll get used to, she's just saying hello, you know. So
Yeah.
that's great. Um, Michael, I got two more questions, and the next one is the big no-nos of networking or influencing. Like, what are some common mistakes that you see professionals making that you say this is not what you do? This is what you should be doing instead.
I would say number one, I'm for quality and not quantity. When I say that, I've been to networking events, I've been to conferences, and I've seen people that just walk around, they're handing out business cards. They may talk to somebody for 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes, not really building much of a relationship interaction. And then they're handing out their business card and go to the next person, or they're scanning their QR code on LinkedIn to go to the next person. And they just have a mindset, I'm trying to get 100 contacts by the end of the day. And that's, to me, that's not good networking. I would rather you spend 30 minutes or an hour or whatever amount of time with one individual and truly get to know them, get to know about their work experience, get to know about their needs, their wants, get to know about their personal life, rather than hop around and speak to 10 people in 30 minutes. So I'll say number one, it should be quality over quantity. Don't just try to go into a situation and try to maximize the number of connections that you can build in a short amount of time. Make sure you're building meaningful relationships. I would say number two, and I talked about this earlier, networking is a two-way street. So don't don't just get get someone's contact information, and as soon as you build a relationship with somebody, you're already asking for something. Oh, what can you do for me? Can you help me get a job? Can you help me with my resume? Can you help me interview prep? Can you, it's like you just met this person 2 days ago, and the first thing you're doing is asking for stuff. Make sure to focus on how can you help them. So I would say that's a second no when it comes to networking. And then I would say the third piece that I say is a no for networking. Uh, like I said, you want to make sure that you're keeping in touch with people regularly. So I personally, I don't like it when people will just add someone on social media and in their minds are like, oh, they're in my network now. It's like you talked to them for 5 minutes one time 5 years ago. That's not a meaningful relationship. So to me, that's a no. Like social media is great. I leverage LinkedIn all the time. I think it's a fantastic tool. Whenever possible, I'm trying to get people off of LinkedIn and have a conversation. If it's not in person, then it's through Zoom or Google Meets. So if someone on LinkedIn makes a post that they've started a new job, they just got promoted, or some type of big life event, I might send them a message like, "Oh, hey, congratulations! I saw you just started a new job. we haven't talked in a while. I would love to connect. Let me know if you have 30 minutes of free time in the next couple of weeks for us to speak over the phone. So I'm leveraging LinkedIn, but instead of me just clicking the like button on their post or just commenting on their post, I'm finding a way for me and that individual to get away from LinkedIn and get on the phone or get on Zoom and speak person to person for 30 minutes and actually build a relationship. I'm finding ways to make sure that I'm connecting with people on a regular cadence. So don't just rely on social media and think, hey, I added them on LinkedIn and I like their posts, so they're a good part of my network. No, take the effort to reach out to people and meet with them in person when possible, speak with them on the phone, set up virtual calls, virtual video calls. Find ways to make sure you're keeping in touch with people on a regular cadence. Because a big no-no for me is that someone adds you on social media or takes down your phone number and never calls you, and then 5 years later, when they want something, all of a sudden they want to reach out. That's not good networking. So I would say those are the top three no-nos that I've seen.
Thank you so much. Yes, treat things as like, do not treat things as transactional. Yes, focus on building the relationship, not the transaction. Great. And my last answer here, then, Michael, is if a professional wants to, like, a professional is in their own bubble, like they're not connecting, they're not influencing, they're just focused on their daily tasks inside their office or virtual space, but they want to start doing something right now. What is a small step a professional could start taking today or this week in order to start building their network and their influence inside or outside their job?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd say inside your job, I would challenge individuals to reach out to their team members, their colleagues, maybe set up a coffee chat with one or a lunch. And I get it. A lot of people are working in different cities, different states, different countries, so you can't always meet with people face to face. You can still set up virtual meetings. But I challenge you to, obviously you work with your team, set up a 30-minute talk with one of your team members and just to get to know them as an individual, not talk about work. A good way for you to also meet other individuals at your job. I'm a big fan of employee resource groups. So most companies will have a Black employee network, a Hispanic network, a women's network. So you can join a network that you feel an affiliation with, and that will help you meet other individuals at your job. And you can build relationships with them. If your company doesn't have an employee resource group that resonates with you, take the onus and create one. When I joined Netscope didn't have a Black employee network. So I created one. So don't take the easy route and say, hey, there's not a network that I
Mhm.
personally resonate with. If you see a gap, if you see an opportunity, take the steps to create it. But I would internally at your company, I would challenge people to set up lunches, coffee chats, virtual meetings with their colleagues. I would challenge them to join organizations at their company so they can meet other individuals within the company. And then outside your company, I'm a big fan of joining organizations. I'm a big fan of attending conferences. I've attended at least one to two conferences every year for over the last 10 years. So, Afrotech, National Black MBA Association, Grace Hopper Celebration, Salesforce Conference, Tableau Conference, Black is Tech, Association for Latin Professionals of America, Lesbians Who Tech. I'm constantly finding conferences that are relevant for me. It's a great way for me to meet other individuals in my industry, in my function that I can build relationships with. So I challenge people to attend conferences and search for conferences that are relevant for them. I challenge people to join organizations. I've talked to you about some of the organizations that I'm a part of between Cyversity, National Black MBA Association, Project Management Institute. There are so many organizations that you can join that you can meet other individuals in your function, in your industry. So I would say those are different mechanisms you could do to meet new individuals, whether it's inside your company or outside your company. And then you have to take the right steps to maintain those relationships once you meet those individuals.
Great. So there's a lot of opportunities there that we are not aware of, but I think that the associations, as you mentioned, like there's at least one in every city, a large or small city. There has to be a way for you to connect with other people in your industry or related industries. So that's a great tip. Michael,
Thank you very much for all the knowledge you have just shared with your audience. We know you have a book and you're also active on social. So if people want to get the book or people want to connect with you or they want to find you, keep learning from you, where can we get the book? Where can we follow you, Mister?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So my book is available on all platforms. If you want the paperback, you can get the paperback on Amazon. If you want the audio book, it's on Spotify, it's on Audible. If you want the ebook, it's on Barnes and Noble, it's on Kindle. So whatever format you're looking for, the power of networking is available for you. And then if you want to connect with me personally, I have my own website. It's Michael V is in Victor, michaelvmorgan.com. So feel free to go on my website. I have a contact me form, so you can reach out to me directly. You can also connect me on LinkedIn. Like I said, I love leveraging LinkedIn. If you search on LinkedIn by my name, it's Michael Morgan PMP. I have my PMP certification, Project Management Professional. That's the easy way to find me, Michael Morgan PMP. If you search by the URL in LinkedIn, it's Michael V Morgan. So if you do the URL, it's LinkedIn/Michael V Morgan. So whether you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, whether you want to send me a message directly from my website, I'd love to hear from all of you. As I said, I enjoy helping people. I want to see everyone succeed. So I'm excited to hear from the audience.
Thank you very much for sharing, Michael. To the listeners, all the links to Michael's website, LinkedIn account, and book and other social media channels are going to be there available. So go check the episode description, follow Michael on his social media channels, and why not take a look at the book and see if it's something that is going to bring value. I'm sure it's going to bring value to your professional growth. And yeah, check it out. Michael, thank you very much for being with us today.
Oh, thank you. Like I said, it's a pleasure to be a guest on your show.